Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property. Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So Dave Ramsey said that your fancy friends are probably broke. And there was a statistic that came out stating that 62% of Gen Zs feel pressure to keep up with their counterparts. Basically, an old saying that states you're keeping up with the Joneses. And to me, that struck a chord. That actually rang true. So I had a conversation with my uncle, who is also a real estate investor just like myself. At the time, he was telling me, hey, I should stay with him for a year before moving out, and that I'd buy all these properties and I'd be a millionaire in no time. I did not listen, and I should have. But what had really spurred my growth in investment was when my elder cousin, he's about 3 years older than me, decided to invest in real estate. As soon as he did that, I knew that it motivated me to get on and get going. He didn't live around me. He wasn't my neighbor. He was nowhere in my state. But I said, I can't allow him to beat me in this thing called life. And so I went, got with a real estate agent, started searching properties, and I searched and I searched and I searched probably from June all the way to December, right? So about 6 months. And then after December, we was in contract. We closed on our first property January of 2021. And then we continued to move on. Boom. The first sign of success. We continued to move on, got our second property the same year, 10 months later or 9 months later or so. So I say all that to say is that keeping up with the Joneses is absolutely true. And when I finally moved into this area, in this neighborhood, you start to speak to some of the people within the community. You start to understand them better. What do they like to do? What do they get into? I am the youngest person in this community, and it will probably be that way for the next 7 years. I just turned 27, people. The average person doesn't buy their first home until they're about 32 to 35 years of age. And so for the next 7 years, I'm probably going to be the youngest person in this community. My neighbors are retired over here, another one retired over there, another one retired over there, and my neighbor over here will probably be retired in the next 10 years or so. Right? And so they've all lived in this community at least 8 years plus. I am still the newest newcomer. Well, not anymore. There is a new neighbor about 3 blocks down, probably moved in about 2 years ago. So I've been here about three years now, so not as new. But again, I'll probably be the youngest person in this community for years to come. The good thing about that is that I don't necessarily have to keep up with anyone. Now, there are times where you feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough. For example, Halloween. Everyone decorates their houses and they have all these extravagant things that they do for Halloween. I did not do all that. I looked online and I saw a skeleton for $1,000. Why would I do that? Like, why would I buy a skeleton for $1,000 to just stick outside of my house? It just does not make sense. You're only going to have it up for a day. Nobody actually cares. And all that lets them know is that kids can knock on your door and say trick or treat, right? And so for me, it wasn't like something that I would do to keep up with the Joneses for what? Now, if you were speaking to your neighbors, right, about Halloween and they're super excited about that, that might influence you to go out there and buy that skeleton. But truth be told, you just want to look good, because you wouldn't spend $1,000 to hang out with your neighbors, would you? No, but you'll spend it on a skeleton so that you look good to your neighbors. To me, that just doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. I'm not a big fan of Halloween. Now, kids love candy, and I'm sure that's a great thing to do for the children, but I'm just not a fan. So we'll spend money in so many different ways just because you want to impress someone, or you want to do things that are inclusive of everyone within the neighborhood. So keeping up with the Joneses is absolutely true. I redid my backyard about two years ago. People were asking who's my contractor so that they can redo their backyard and they can do this, and that. Like, did they do it? No, but it motivated them to make a change, right? Because they want to keep up with whatever is going on. They want to know what's in the new, what can change for the betterment of the community, and what is he doing that I might want to do as well. So Dave Ramsey stated that people are on Instagram and they are basically showing off a lifestyle that nobody else is living. Like, all right, for example, I go on IG, everyone is in a bikini. Everybody is naked. Everybody is naked all the time. Like, nobody works. Nobody works. Everybody just can stay on the beach all day, sipping drinks and having a good time. The funniest part about it is that it's never like with a group of friends. It's always just you in a bikini with one person snapping your picture. That is scary time for me. Like, I am trying to figure out, why is it that you're always on vacation? And the truth is, they're not. They're not always on vacation. The truth is, they're snapping a picture in a bikini, and then they snap another one in a new bikini, and they throw it on IG every other month, right? Like, every other month, they're posting a pic. Some might even be real about it and say, hey, I remember this time, I can't wait to go back, right? Things like that. Things that are actually real and true. But for me, I find it that I really don't have to impress anyone, because I just work hard for things that a lot of people will not have. So, for example, a lot of people can finance a car, a brand new car. They can finance it. They can be paying on it. They can be in an enormous amount of debt, and that's their life. I don't drive a very fancy car right now, and I don't plan on buying one until I am 30 years of age, so 3 years from now. That doesn't mean that I will buy it at 30, because, things happen with your vehicle and you might need a new one sooner than that. But if I wanted to, of course I could finance. I could buy it outright right now, but I choose not to, because I actually feel a benefit in saying I could pay off my house immediately, and I choose not to do that, versus buying a car and delaying the ability to pay off my house whenever I so choose. Now, having a home already at my age is very rare, and so that allows me the comfort of knowing, oh, I don't have to keep up with anyone because they're still looking to do certain things that I've done and accomplished. Another thing is that not just one home, but two. So now people are like, oh, not only has he done it once before, but he's done it twice. It must be the state that he lives in. It must be the area that he lives in. It must be he had so much support and guidance and assistance. It must be whatever that you can think of to justify me being the way I am. And, another thing, simply saying, oh, his home is clean, or he goes to the gym often. It must be he doesn't have to work as much. It must be whatever. No, it's simply I allocate time to do things that are beneficial to me, my health, my wellness. In every aspect of that requires discipline, and that requires a plan. And a lot of people lack discipline. A lot of people lack a plan. And because of that, what happens is they are left wallowing in their own dissatisfaction. And so, Dave is basically telling you, don't necessarily look at someone else's life and think that that is the gold standard, but instead look at your own life, see where you can improve, and start to go from there. Don't find yourself trying to compete and then being miserable in that competition, because 62% of Gen Z are essentially going to be miserable trying to keep up, trying to compete, trying to be as successful when it is not yet their time, right? You can't buy a Maybach truck and expect to be able to afford the things necessary to have bought that truck or cash instead of having to finance it. And so it's actually absolutely incumbent on you to say, listen, instead of buying that Maybach truck, I'm going to invest in these stocks right now so that in the future, I'm able to buy that Maybach truck with the dividends that I'm getting from the stock market, or the passive income I'm getting from real estate investing, whatever the case may be. So I absolutely agree with Dave Ramsey here, because let's be 100% real. A lot of people don't look at the statistics. A lot of people don't know what it is that the average person is making here in America today. And the truth is that most people don't make more than $77,000 a year. Most people don't. Now, the majority of people in my circle do make more than $80,000 a year. They all have professions and a work ethic that justifies them making more than $80,000 a year. But it's easy to make less than that when you don't prepare yourself and you don't assert yourself in those type of conversations to where you would be making more than $80,000 a year. So when you have someone who is saying, listen, I'm going to buy a $60,000 vehicle, and you don't even make $60,000, like, how does that make sense? It doesn't, right? It just absolutely doesn't make sense. So stop trying to keep up with people who are living the exact same life as you, and they're just showing you something that they're basically showing you the highlights of their entire year on IG, but they're not showing you the day in, day out of what it is that they do. You'll come to find out that a lot of these people are working in the warehouse. A lot of these people are working in the grocery store. A lot of these people are working as a CNA. Let's just be honest and real about it. A lot of the time, you're not asking, hey, what do you do for a living? You're just asking, oh my goodness, where's that shirt, or where's that car from? Like, no, you have to ask the true and the real questions. If you want to be where they are, maybe you should do what they do first from an economical standpoint before you're trying to do what they do from a life standpoint, like a living of life standpoint. So I absolutely agree with Dave Ramsey. A lot of these people are broke, and a lot of these people are using you. And so I'm happy to agree on this topic, because I do believe that it will not impact people in a positive way 9 out of 10% of the time, right? 90% of the time, it will just not impact people in a positive way. A lot of these people will be stressed out. A lot of these people will be miserable. A lot of these people will be envious. And a lot of these people won't truly know what life is, right? Especially starting out, because they don't have life experience to know better. So that's all I really had to say on this topic. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.